The villainess who cares only about magic circles enters a political marriage with the crown prince to read an ancient grimoire. Episode 5. Her father, the Marquis, receives a status report. Mornings at the Sylvain Marquisate were always quiet. A long, meticulously polished mahogany dining table. The aroma of freshly baked white bread. Steaming consommé. Seasonal fruit. Morning sunlight streamed through the windows and sparkled in the crystal glasses. It was an elegant, peaceful morning, perfectly suited to a marquis's household. The only exception was the stomach of its master, Cyrus de Sylvain. It was anything but peaceful.
It has already been a month since Lysette shut herself away in the library.
Cyrus sipped freshly brewed coffee as he read the report delivered that morning. Bitter. Whether it was the coffee or reality itself, he could no longer tell. She had defeated every private tutor and completed her education in a single week. After that, she analyzed every magic book in the library as if taking it apart. She also continued researching the unknown symbol that had appeared in her recent model spell formula. The other day, he had timidly looked into the library and seen mountains of grimoires bristling with bookmarks. The sight had followed him into his dreams. Even there, bookmarks stuck out of every book. It had been a deeply unpleasant dream.
Good morning, Father.
Her composed yet strangely flat voice echoed through the dining room. When he looked up, Lysette approached in a neatly frilled morning dress. Marie followed one step behind, wearing the expression of someone who could no longer live without stomach medicine.
Good morning, Lysette. Did you sleep well last night?
I secured 6 hours of sleep. That is sufficient for my brain to recover from fatigue.
That is good to hear.
It was not the sort of answer one expected from a 5-year-old daughter. Still, Cyrus somehow kept his cheek from twitching. Lysette sat down to his right. Ignoring breakfast entirely, she placed the bundle of parchment she had brought onto the table. Thump. It sounded heavier than the bread.
Father, today I request your approval of a status report regarding my future activities and the accompanying budget proposal.
A budget proposal.
Those were not words one expected to hear over breakfast. Least of all from a 5-year-old daughter.
Yes, this is the status report and budget request for the procurement of grimoires by House Sylvain.
Lysette held out the bundle of parchment in both of her small hands. Cyrus accepted it cautiously. The first page presented a perfectly organized list of points. 1. As of yesterday, I have completed my analysis of the principal books on fundamental magical theory in our collection.
She truly analyzed all the principal texts in only 1 month.
2. During my review, I discovered 17 critical inconsistencies in the basic syntax of modern magical theory. Please refer to Appendix 1 for details.
Does this mean my daughter has completely rejected our entire collection?
3. Our current collection is weighted toward introductory and fundamental theory and is insufficient for further verification. For continued research, I wish to procure advanced texts used by the Royal Academy, collections of papers by court magicians, and grimoires sold through specialist shops and antiquarian markets in the capital.
In other words, we do not have enough books, so she wants me to buy more.
4. I estimate the continuing procurement cost at 15 gold coins per month. A cost-benefit analysis is included in Appendix 2. Cyrus fell silent. The document was constructed far too skillfully. This was not a 5-year-old's request. It was an official proposal written by a seasoned civil servant. Appendix 1 contained 7 densely packed pages identifying inconsistencies. At the end, the unknown symbol from the model spell formula had been copied with meticulous care. Only the conclusion beneath that symbol remained blank. In Lysette's slender handwriting, it read, currently undecipherable, no correspondence with any known system of symbols. Appendix 2 listed major bookstores, manuscripts available through Academy contacts, rare book routes, and even the most efficient carriage shipping plan, all arranged like a spreadsheet.
15 gold coins every month.
Cyrus repeated the figure aloud. 15 gold coins. Enough for a common family of 4 to live on for an entire year. Even for a Marquis' household, it was no trivial sum.
Yes,
Lysette nodded with a perfectly serious expression.
it is a sound investment. Optimizing our spell formulas will raise agricultural output and cut the estate's magical utility costs. It should pay for itself in 3 months.
3 months.
Correct. In fact, 15 gold coins a month is quite inexpensive if it provides an adequate research environment.
She spoke with complete confidence. Cyrus desperately studied Appendix 2. There had to be some childish optimism. A mistake in the calculations. An assumption made for her own convenience. Something had to be wrong somewhere. There was nothing. Negotiated discounts, estimates from multiple shops, reduced transport costs. Every factor had been considered. There was nothing left to cut. Cyrus slowly raised his head and looked at Marie, standing behind Lysette. Marie lowered her eyes and silently shook her head. Her wordless signal said everything. There is no adult left in this house who can defeat my lady with logic. Cyrus exchanged a deeply sympathetic glance with Marie.
You face this every day. You have my sympathy.
I understand exactly how you feel, my lord. An unspoken sigh passed between master and servant. Cyrus turned back to his daughter. Lysette's pale violet eyes shone quietly with expectation. By her own standards, she seemed extremely excited.
I cannot understand even half of what this child thinks or what she is trying to accomplish.
Even so,
She is not asking for books on a childish whim. The precision of this report proves that.
Cyrus released a long breath and picked up his coffee cup. He took a sip. It was still bitter.
Very well.
You approve the request then?
I do. I will provide 15 gold coins per month for your research.
Thank you, Father. I will deliver results without fail.
Lysette did not break into a bright smile. She simply bowed with calm formality. Only then did she place her spoon into the soup that had begun to cool.
Good, the initial funding is secured. Next, I need access to external archives.
She had already moved on to her next plan. Watching her profile, Cyrus decided he needed a second cup of coffee. A few days later. Several days after the budget was approved. Wooden crates began arriving at the Sylvain estate from bookstores and antiquarians throughout the capital. My lady, more books have arrived.
Thank you, Marie. Please place them on top of the unread pile.
The unread pile. Such a pile already occupied one corner of the room. Once again, Lysette's room disappeared beneath parchment and grimoires. She raced through each new book, extracted the information she needed, and marked pages with bookmarks.
As I suspected, the grimoires available on the open market contain only limited information.
Lysette's gaze slid toward the corner of her desk. There lay a sheet on which she had copied the unknown symbol dozens of times. Its shape was simple, yet its meaning remained completely beyond her grasp. Lysette murmured as she added another book to the stack.
It feels as though knowledge of the world's fundamental workings beyond modern magical theory has been deliberately censored.
Publicly available information would take her no farther. She needed deeper knowledge. Documents controlled at the national level. Records sleeping in the depths of the royal palace or the royal academy. Or perhaps a forbidden archive.
I need access privileges.
The thoughts of the 5-year-old girl accelerated still further. But that day, Lysette had not yet noticed the strange book buried at the bottom of the newly delivered pile. It was not a grimoire. It was a romance novel, secretly popular among the young noblewomen of the capital. And that single volume would bring Lysette an unexpected piece of information. Information that appeared to have nothing at all to do with magic circles or magical theory. Yet that faint discrepancy would eventually transform the direction of Lysette's research. Later, Lysette would classify the volume in her library catalog as follows: Top priority reference material, contents incomprehensible. Episode 5, Her father the Marquis receives a status report. The end.